Are you ready? Because what just happened with Team USA and Caitlin Clark is wild. USA basketball head coach Kara Lawson has mysteriously vanished. Nate Tibbetts is now running the show, and his very first move is starting Caitlin Clark, something Lawson refused to do even after Clark broke 5 world records in her debut game against Segal. The result was a 55-point win where Clark led the team in efficiency and assists, and then Tibbetts stood at the podium and flat-out stated that the previous approach was a mistake. If you have been watching this tournament feeling frustrated, this is the video you have been waiting for, because when the new coach gets in front of the cameras and admits the previous staff got it wrong, you will understand exactly why this moment hits differently. Drop a comment below on whether Tibbetts should be the permanent head coach going forward or if Lawson should come back and undo all of this, as we welcome you to the second half of the post-game press conference between USA and New Zealand, which
Welcome to the second half of the post-game press conference between USA and New Zealand. USA won 101-46. Joining us now is head coach Nathan Tibbetts and Ryan Howard, two-time TCL player of the game. We'll start with you, Coach Nate. Just your initial thoughts coming out.
USA won 101-46. Did you know that Caitlin Clark dropped 5 FIBA world records in her very first game for the Team USA senior national team against Segal, 5 in one game, and then the coaching staff started talking about getting everyone reps and making sure the whole roster gets a chance to shine. So Clark, fresh off the most historically dominant individual performance in FIBA qualifying history, started watching stretches of games from the bench while lineups that made no sense took the floor instead, which is high-level basketball. Let us talk about what actually happened in those early games.
Level basketball.
Ryan Howard, back to Clark. Clark into Irvin, and Irvin off the glass. The ball moves.
Against Segal, Clark was everywhere, running the offense, creating for teammates, and breaking records that had stood for years in international play. Then Kara Lawson started shuffling the rotation in ways that kept Clark either off the ball or on the bench during key stretches, not because Clark was playing poorly, not because she was hurt, but simply because apparently everyone deserves it. Turned out a reporter actually asked Lawson directly about Clark after one of those games, asking her point blank about Clark's role and what the plan was going forward, and Lawson did not answer it.
I thought Puerto Rico played very, very hard, and they played hard the entire time. They challenged us with their effort, and I thought they made a lot of hustle plays to create baskets for themselves. And this was more of an uneven game for us on both ends. We talked about it as a team, and I thought we had some good spots, but I also thought we had some rough spots, and that's good. It's good to have rough spots sometimes. You're able to kind of figure some things out, and we're still figuring things out.
She pivoted to talking about how everyone on Team USA deserves to shine, how this is a roster full of great players, and how the program is about more than any one person, which sounds fine until you remember she just watched that one person break 5 world records and still would not say out loud that Clark was her starting point guard. Here is where it gets interesting because Lawson was not working alone. Stephanie White is also in that coaching room. She is the head coach of the Indiana Fever, Clark's own WNBA team, and she has been serving as a Team USA assistant during this tournament. White has a pretty well-known philosophy when it comes to Clark: slow her down, keep her off ball, limit how much she is actually running the offense.
I think what I like the most is how much they share the basketball, their willingness to play with one another and to be excited for each other's success. We're playing a lot of people. They're playing a lot less than their normal minutes. It's different for them rotationally. I mean, all of these players start, with their respective WNBA teams, and all of them are like, if not the number 1 option, the number 2 option on their team. And so you're asking them to play a different role, in particular on the offensive end, and they're all doing it.
So you have Lawson deflecting questions about Clark's role and White in the same building with a coaching approach built around a version of Clark that basically does not exist anymore. That is 2 coaches on the same staff, both more comfortable with Clark doing less, as the publicity around Caitlin Clark grows and her transition offense and passing become topics that reportedly cannot be tolerated, leading to calls to slow it down, switch it up, and make everybody else shine, resulting in a brutal game. The numbers showed it immediately, because when Clark was not running the offense, the pace dropped. Team USA started grinding through half-court sets that did not suit anybody on the roster, the assists dried up, the ball movement slowed down, and the team looked stuck.
All the publicity Caitlin Clark's getting today? Did you see the news? Everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark. We can't have that. The transition offense, Caitlin Clark making passes that nobody in the league has ever seen before. We can't have that. Slow it down, Kara Lawson. Switch it up. We got to make everybody else shine. We don't want her. Everybody else needs to shine. Today's night, it's going to be Paige's night and Angel's night. Yeah. What a brutal game, folks. What a brutal
coincidence when you take the player who leads the whole tournament in assists and move her off the ball. Clark did not say a word about any of it publicly, no complaints, no shade thrown at the coaching staff, no cryptic social media posts. She just played her minutes, put up her numbers, and let the box score do what it does, which it absolutely did.
I mean, I thought the game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably didn't play our best. I thought Paige played really well, but it felt good. I mean, I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think their zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition, so I think if like another team plays on, just continue to play with a lot of pace and don't let them set these out.
Segal were not a rounding error. That is not just a hot shooting night. That is a genuinely historic individual performance in international basketball, and the coaching staff's response was basically to treat it like a nice moment and then move on to ensuring everyone else got their turn. When fans started calling it the anti-Caitlin Clark plan, that was not just Twitter being dramatic, it was a real pattern of breaking records, getting benched, running the offense better than anyone on the floor, getting moved off the ball, and receiving a speech about team unity when asking the head coach directly about your role.
It did sound like she's refusing to answer questions about the starting lineup. Because at the end, she said, well, everybody's playing a different role and they're the number one. I don't want to hear.
That is not one bad game plan, that is a philosophy. And the real question is what exactly Lawson thought she was building with it and why it took her literally disappearing from the sideline for any of it to change. Here is a question nobody has gotten a straight answer to: where is Kara Lawson? She was there at the start of the tournament making the lineup decisions that kept Clark off the starting unit. She was giving the press conference answers that dodged every direct question about Clark's role, and then heading into the New Zealand game she was just gone, with no real explanation given publicly, no injury announcement, no official statement, nothing. She just was not there. Into that gap stepped Nate Tibbetts, the head coach of the Phoenix Mercury, who is now running Team USA on an interim basis. The very first thing he did before a single minute of game action was put Caitlin Clark in the starting lineup. That was it. That was his first move. No long explanation, no committee decision, no speech about getting everyone reps. He just looked at the roster and put his best player in the starting five. Clark getting her first start in San Juan with 3 vets and 2 newbies.
Today was just another opportunity for us to look at something else. I thought offensively we did a good job early. We weren't getting the stops that we needed. And then in the second quarter, we just really raised our level defensively.
To the senior squad is a solid starting lineup, and you do not even need to wait for the press conference to understand what that means, because the starting lineup alone tells you everything about how Tibbetts sees this team and what he thinks went wrong before he got there. He walked in the door and immediately did the thing the previous staff spent 2 games avoiding, but then the press conference happened and Tibbetts did not just start Clark and move on. He actually said out loud on camera in front of reporters that not starting Clark earlier was a mistake, not coach speak, not we are always looking to adjust rotations, but a straight acknowledgement that the previous approach had Clark wrong, which is a coach eating crow on live television and doing it without flinching.
USA. He said, different starting lineup. Every single one of these games, Caitlin Clark gets her first start here in San Juan. That's a solid starting lineup right there. 3 vets, 2 newbies to the senior squad. Of course.
Go back and compare that to Lawson's answer when a reporter asked her directly about Clark, the pivot to team unity, the speech about how everyone deserves to shine. One coach deflects the question while the other just answers it. One coach protects a philosophy that was not working while the other fixes it on day one. The "I told you so" moment fans had been waiting for did not come from a fan account or a podcast breaking down film. It came from the coach standing at the podium after a 55-point blowout win, and that is a different kind of validation that lands differently. Tibbetts did not stop at fixing the starting lineup. He restructured the whole rotation, pulled back Angel Reese's minutes, pushed the pace, and gave Clark and Paige Bucher's real floor time together, not just a few minutes here and there but actual extended runs where they could build something. The offense
you see from the lineup with Kelsey Plum, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Rain Hyde, and Angel Reese, and how did that group impact the flow of the game?
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. You know, this is a group that hasn't been along or been together very long. We've kind of mixed the matchups, mixed the rotations. We played our players a little bit longer stretches than what we had done in the first two games. And so I thought initially they got off to a good start. I probably played them a little bit too long of a stretch at you know, some of them got a little bit tired. But yeah, I love the creativity. I love the shooting with that group.
Started moving faster and the team started looking like it actually had a plan. And the contrast between these two coaching approaches is impossible to ignore. Under Lawson, the team kept running lineup combinations that seemed designed to work around Clark rather than through her, experiments that slowed everything down, while under Tibbetts, one game in, the team looks like it knows exactly what it is, fast, Clark-led, and built around pace and ball movement.
Give me your first impression of the game.
I thought it was good. I thought we started off a little slow. I thought our second unit came in, it was really good, and then I thought overall in the second half we were pretty good.
Players may be fighting for a spot for the World Cup, and with 6 rookies on this USA team they are here to show themselves and prove they can. But the difference is not subtle. It is not a small tweak or minor adjustment. It is a completely different philosophy about what this team should be doing and who should be at the center of it. Lawson had 2 games to figure that out and never got there, while Tibbetts figured it out before the opening tip. So the real question is what Clark actually did with that starting spot, because getting the opportunity is one thing, but what she did with it against New Zealand was something else entirely. Let us talk about the narratives, because Clark just knocked every single one of them down in 23 minutes against New Zealand. And these are not new narratives either. She cannot play defense.
Maybe some, I don't know, but some of those players are maybe fighting for a spot for the World Cup, because maybe this is not the team that we are going to see at the World Cup. Who knows? So it's a chance for the rookies. For example, there are 6 rookies in this USA team. They're here to show themselves and prove that.
She just jacks up threes. She is a volume shooter who pads stats. She is 8 months removed from a serious injury and still fighting through a flu. She is not really back yet. So let us go through them one by one. Starting with the defense one because it is the easiest to bury. Clark finished the New Zealand game with 2 steals, but not just any steals, both of them turned directly into fast break points on the other end, as she read the passing lane, got her hand on the ball, and her team scored because of it. That is not a one-game thing either. Across the whole tournament she is sitting top 5 on the entire Team USA roster in steals, which is not a defensive liability but a guard who makes her defense count when it matters.
Even just holding the ball so they can see it. They steal it just like that. If they see the ball, they can get their hands on.
Now the three-pointer thing. The idea that Clark just stands behind the line and fires away. She leads Team USA in scoring across the whole tournament, but most of those points are coming from inside the arc, 2-point shots, mid-range pull-ups, drives into the paint. She is not hiding on the perimeter waiting for a catch-and-shoot look. She is attacking the defense and scoring in multiple ways.
Scorer for this New Zealand team with 6 points to go along with 3 boards. Kelsey Plum, look at that steal, hands it up to Caitlin Clark and Caitlin.
The volume shooter narrative really falls apart when you look at the numbers. Clark leads Team USA in efficiency rating, meaning she gets more production per possession than anyone else on the roster, so she is not just putting up big numbers by taking more shots, she is doing it better and more efficiently than her teammates, and on top of that she leads the whole team in assists, so she is not even holding onto the ball, she is giving it up and making the people around her better.
Caitlin Clark on the wing. Look at that, creating her own.
The plus-minus number is where things get genuinely wild, because Clark does not just lead Team USA in plus-minus, she leads every single player across every single roster in the entire FIBA 2026 qualifying tournament, every country, every player on every team. When she is on the floor, Team USA is outscoring opponents by more than any other player in the whole field is doing for their team, that is the entire tournament. She is the most impactful player in the entire field right now, and it is not particularly close.
Returning back since July, how's your body feeling? You got a lot of rhythm.
Feel good. Obviously, 5 games in 7 days is a true test and see where my body's at, but so far I feel really good.
After 8 months off recovering from a serious injury, then showing up to this tournament still dealing with a flu, and while she said she has been feeling better physically and the numbers back that up, the fact that she is the most impactful player in the tournament while not even at full health is its own kind of achievement. The free throw number deserves a mention too. Clark leads Team USA in free throws drawn. Defenses are fouling her, which means she is getting into the paint and making contact. You do not draw fouls hiding on the perimeter, and she did all of this in 23 minutes while the lead was already blowing out to 55 points.
Playing at a national level, although first time, how has it been so far with the fans here in Puerto Rico?
It's been great. I thought our game, especially versus Puerto Rico at 8 p.m., was a really fun one for us. Fans have been great. Fans that have come from America have been awesome. So anytime you get to put this jersey on, I think it's a really fun thing. You take a lot of pride in it, and it's a really big honor.
While everyone was locked in on Lawson disappearing and Clark breaking records, something else was happening on the floor that deserves its own conversation. Clark and Paige Bueckers are building real chemistry, and the New Zealand game was the best look at it yet. When Tibbetts restructured the rotation and gave both of them real floor time together, the offense started moving in a way it just had not been moving before in this tournament. Not a little bit better, but noticeably and visibly better.
Looking for space, tries to create it. Billings still gets a hand on it. Now they're on the run, a 2-on-2 opportunity. Monique Billings loses the ball, stays with it, and kisses it off the glass.
Picture this backcourt. Clark with the ball, pushing pace in transition, reading the defense before it even sets up and making the right pass, while Bueckers is on the other side cutting hard, finding space, and finishing. They are not stepping on each other, not both trying to do the same thing at the same time. Clark runs the show and Bueckers plays off it. A combination that is genuinely hard to guard because defenses have to make a choice and there is no good one.
Half, USA up big, 49-18. Ives kicks it to Becker.
Game showed it too. Clark put up 12 points and 5 assists in about 22 minutes, much of that production coming from her ability to get into the lane and find open teammates, driving, collapsing the defense, and kicking out to Bueckers or Monique Billings for clean looks, which is how the offense is supposed to flow because teams cannot just sit back and let Clark drive, they have to respect her pull-up, her floater, her ability to finish through contact, so when she does kick it out, those are real open shots, not just emergency passes. Compare
Clark to set something up off the Hamby screen, dishes it into Hamby. Hamby makes that one look easy. What a give and go between
that to what the offense looked like under Lawson. Clark off the ball, the pace slowed way down, half-court sets that did not match what anyone on this roster actually does well. The team was not bad in those stretches but looked flat, not because the talent was not there, but because the system kept getting in the way of the talent.
Right away, she sees everything on the court.
Clark, one of the best passers there is in basketball. This time, gonna do it herself. From the mid-range.
Being used right either. You have two of the most dynamic guards in the game right now, and the previous setup was basically asking both of them to do less.
Drives against Burrell, up off the glass. Monique Billings pulls down her 6th rebound of the game. Caitlin Clark, the vision and the execution. What a pass inside.
Then there is the Angel Reese situation. Tibbetts pulled back her minutes in the New Zealand game and the team ran cleaner because of it, as there have been real breakdowns when Reese is on the floor with Clark, outlet passes that do not connect, decisions in the lane that do not line up with what Clark is reading. It is not smooth, and Tibbetts is handling that the practical way by not putting those two in spots where those breakdowns keep happening. That is a coaching decision about what actually works, and right now what actually works is Clark and Bueckers sharing the floor together, a pairing that is fast, smart, and unselfish, both making the right pass, both moving without the ball, neither needing to be the only option, so defenses never get to focus on just one problem, and that is what the floor actually looks like when they are out there together.
The way they're shooting from 3 would not be surprising. 13 of 16 so far from 3 for Team USA. And here we go, Caitlin Clark, right on cue. Caitlin Clark from the top of the 3, add another triple to her stat line.
For Indiana Fever fans watching this tournament, there is a real bonus story running underneath all of this. Clark is coming out of these games healthy, sharp, and playing the best international basketball of her career. She went through 8 months of injury recovery, then showed up here with a flu and still became the most impactful player in the whole field, and that is the version of Clark heading into the 2026 WNBA season, which the Fever should be very excited about. Clark broke 5 world records, got benched, watched a coaching staff actively avoid building around her, and then went out there sick and still led every single player in the entire FIBA qualifying field in plus-minus. The coaching staff did not vindicate her, the numbers did. Tibbetts just finally said it out loud. Drop a comment below on whether Tibbetts should be the permanent head coach going forward or if Lawson should come back and undo all of this, because the World Cup is coming, the 2026 WNBA season is coming, and right now Caitlin Clark is the most impactful player in this entire tournament. Like, subscribe, turn on all notifications so you never miss out, click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.